Welcome to Factorio. My name is Nilaus. This is a new playthrough of Factorio 0.17. We're going to start from scratch and just dive all the way in and get all the way to launching a rocket. And my intention with this playthrough is that it will be focusing on having a smooth playthrough and making a nice structured base. I'll be providing blueprints for the structures that I'm building and the designs I'm building. It will have some advanced features, but I will be explaining them as we go along. So this is intended both for new players who have never played the game before, and I'll try to explain what I'm doing. I may miss some things, but then feel free to ask in the comments or in the Discord. If you're more of an experienced player, this will also be a look at the new version 0.17. That is a major step forward and has a lot of very interesting features. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the map generation. This is the first thing we're going to see. There are now a lot of options for us to choose between, and this is they're really interesting. Let's start with a default here. Now, what can we see? So now it's the default. We have the different components, the frequency of patches, the sizes of patches, and the richness of patches. That's the terrain type. This is very interesting. We can actually have a map view if we look at it here, we can switch it to an island view. Doesn't change much, it seems, but it actually means that it is constrained like this on an island. A very big island though, and more like a continent. I am not going to do that because it actually prevents a bit of the biter interaction. You're then very easy to clear out all the biters. The water, how much water we have, this very nice feature here. How this changes, and let's go back to 100. The coverage, how big, the trees, I think we'll leave as much as possible on default. The one thing I'm not particularly interested in is actually the cliffs. I am no fan of the cliffs, so they have a tendency very much to get in the way of building a nice structured base. So I jumped down and I want to take them completely out. And we have the bias, the moisture, how moist it is, whether it's more green or more desert. Let's see, higher bias generates more grass. We like more grass. Yeah, and then we're going to take terrain type. Higher generates more red desert. Don't need. Enemies, we of course have enemy bases. They are now split into frequency and size, as well as the starting area. We are going to be, right now the biters are quite aggressive, so we're going to give ourselves a bit more space to work with, so that we don't have to, or we will not get overrun by biters immediately. We'll leave the rest of it as default. Now here there are some other options as well. Research queue after game is finished. I will actually add this, and I highly recommend this. This is a very nice feature to have a research queue available, and I don't know why this is not default always. So I'd highly recommend that. So now we have the settings set up, and then it's a matter of maybe clicking a few times to get a good map. The one thing I don't like about it is the difference between the copper and iron coal in starting area. Doesn't seem like it's a good start for us. Here there's a ton of cliffs nearby, so let's not take that one. We'll just click a few times. This one's good. They're very close to each other. There are some cliffs, yes, but we can probably work around it. It's also mainly grassland, which I really like. There's lots of trees, for better or for worse. This one I would probably... Could I make it? There's a lot of water over there. We'll just click a few times just to make sure. Oh, that's very deserty. And it's not that I don't mind the desert, but I just find it more pleasing to the eye to look at something like this. This one's very good. We have things close together here, and we have the water is a bit far away, but I think we will manage that, and we can make some power. So that's what I'm looking for, is basically how big are these patches? How close are they together? Is there space out here for building? The answer is yes. And do we have oil somewhere near? And water? Yeah, we can get it up here. So this is a pretty good map in my opinion. Let's dive in and have a go. So we're now in Factorio free play. And if you've been playing the previous version, you will see that a lot of things are very different. There are new options here. If you're playing the game for the first time, you will not have these options for unknown reasons. it kind of is strange to me. These are a number of additional options you can toggle, such as, let's just walk through it. You can copy, and you can cut, you can paste, you can import blueprints. I think the idea is that blueprints are some of the advanced features, and it's not really desirable to get all these buttons up when it's the first time you're playing. I'll be using these, so but I'll try to explain it because it makes life so much easier once you get used to it. I have a hotkey. Inventory is slightly different, but we'll get to it. Let's always, for me, I start by chopping. One of the things that you will notice as well is that we don't have an iron pick anymore. So that's good. No iron pick. What we need is we need to start building, and let me make sure I don't make some silly, embarrassing mistakes in the beginning. Let's also get something, just a very little, here there's another little thing here. You can actually get a notification when you don't reach things. And so we can build this one. Voila. And that's also probably needs a bit of... So we are building our first. As soon as we have one, we can actually build the next one. Because we're starting with 8, which is really nice improvement. Except that and then I need more of this. One of the things that you'll see that I have that is a feature that is enabled is when I click on something and I don't have that item here, I get a ghost image, which means like this. See, this one I have, so I can place it. While if I press on this one, I press Q to get a copy of it in my hand. There's a little cute little ghost here. This means that I don't have it, and if I click it here, then it will place a ghost copy. A ghost copy is basically an indicator that I want to build something there. When I have robots, they'll start to build them themselves. But it's a very good way to do the planning of the base early on. So for me, it can be confusing that if you can't keep track of whether you're building real stuff or ghost stuff, then it might be a bit confusing to have it enabled. That's why it's default disabled. But for me, I really like having the option of just planning things out with blueprints or with ghost images. So we're just going to take a bit more wood here so we can get started on our factory. There's also another interesting thing. If I try to click on something that's too far away or unable to do that, it'll now say can't reach. Or if I now control left click puts half of the current stack into each of these. I don't want this much here. And stone furnace, oops, why did I do that? Let's put 10 here, put 10 here. Get one more. Just always when I rate it up to 9, as soon as I have 9, then I'll take the next one. Let's put 10 in each of these. Oops, turned it the wrong way. Embarrassing. Get one more. And now when I clicked it, yeah. Now we can build more. I'll just keep building here. This is all I need to do, and we'll run out of power very soon. Now I have 2. Let's go to our coal deposit. This is where we build a nice little design that is become quite common. If they are, oops, I have to get closer to mine. I can build for a bit further away. See, I put this in. That means they start feeding each other, which means that they'll just fill up each other's storage, and then I can come back and take it. 1, 2, 2 more. And then again, if we build it in sort of a cycle, then they will feed each other like so. Oops, see, that's the problem. It made a ghost image. And I get the first small bits of coal. So when we continue, I have a certain number. I want 10 of these, maybe 12. 10 or 12 of these, and then 3 copper. Not many copper, because in the beginning it is all about the iron. We're also going to start harvesting some of these, but I really don't want to use them. I want to use my coal first. But what I need is now is more stone to build more stone furnaces. And we'll start harvesting a bit of trees so we have the more clear path. Chop, chop, chop. Enjoying, right? So in 0.17 there are many upgrades, and I'll try to walk through each of them as we discover them. But I will not sort of throw them at you in the beginning when it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to go through a training UI. I have released a video about my top 10 features of 0.17. So you're welcome to take a look at that one if that has any interest. But I will just walk through it and just try to incorporate it into a normal series. Let's that one. Now do you see the issue here? 2, 3, 4, 6. This one. I'll now build another little cycle. And we just need to prime it with one here and one there. And now I can just take these out. That means you can start seeing how much coal I actually have here. And that's 1, 2. So we can build more of these. Let's do it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. At this stage, I am unable to keep up with the coal, but I will be able to once in a bit. That one wouldn't have too much. Get this. Now you have to also keep in mind that they don't have a lot of materials here. So this one, for example, only has 25 left. So once it stops, it'll stop producing. So that's 8 of these. Let's go to 12 just because, or to 10 because that's some kind of a round number. Here. Look at the distance I can now craft. This is in my opinion, major improvement from the previous versions. I want a few more of these. And 1, 2, 3. Get it and get it. And then we are also going to get a little one of these. We're going to go back here, harvest this. At this point, I could, maybe should be building also some, oops, come on. Some copper, but really I don't feel that copper is particularly important to get early on. For me, it's all about the infrastructure here. So this one, these two, they are simply just mining stone into this box so that I can build more of these. I'm going to have to build so that I have 6 of these right now. Maybe I should have built it a bit different. Oops, that's not it. Stop doing that. That one. I want 6 of them because I need 3 for iron and 3 for coal. Sorry, copper. That's what it's called. Yes, strange. We have 4. Just need to get this to 10. Actually, maybe I'll just help it a bit along just by harvesting this one. But you need a lot of stone, so just keep those running for a long time. They'll be very handy. Let me show another thing that is new. You can take items from here and you can drag them to the hotbar like this and this. And what this means is they are not actually here, but they highlight how many you have in your inventory. And the inventory is much bigger now than it used to be, which is nice. Okay, so we are running out of coal. I don't want to feed this coal just yet because I want the copper to get all the rest of the coal I have right now. 1, 2, 3. It's actually quite easy, exactly what I need. And we have a bit of cliffs over here. They are kind of annoying, but I'm sure we're gonna make it. And then you just press 1 and you get the first item from there. I could also press 2, but not really. Okay, so this is now working. We get a bit of copper. The first thing we need copper for is actually the offshore pump. So we only need 3 of these there. So I can now need the offshore pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need more. I will harvest all of this I can. 1, 2, 3, more of these. Yep. I'm always handcrafting a lot. That's just the way it is. So I want 12 of these. I know it's quite a lot, and most sane people would probably recommend a lot less, but I really like it because it allows me to, and it allows me to just ignore this for a while and then just come back once in a while and just pick up a lot. That's really the point. Just pick up a lot of it and go back to building. Now I can pick 6 of these. Eventually I will actually have enough in here to feed all of them and keep all of them well fed. Did this one run out? You can hover over this one and see if this doesn't say expected resources, then it has run out. And we just place them. I'm going to place it here even though it's going to run out soon, just to make sure that I'm, we're going to leech something from one of these. I love the fact that I can now pick up at a longer distance. So how many have I crafted of these? Let's put them down here, not because I really need it. Middle mouse button to remove this from here. I somehow hit the lower one instead. So that one. And then we're going to build some power poles. We can't do that until we have some copper. Luckily we've built the copper that's been built up. Okay, so now we can build a number of electric power poles, which will be one of the first things. At this point we really want to check that we have enough of everything. Here we go. Oh, probably a good idea to turn it the right way. And we're running out again. So what we need now is we need to find some water. It's up here. Those spiders out there are going to be a problem very soon. There is no doubt about this. There. Please also keep in mind when they run out, because they will. Okay, might a bit of iron, or sorry, like this. That forest is beautiful, but it's annoying. We don't like forests. They are the true enemy of Factorio. Now, one of the things that I need to do here is fixing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. If I take that one then, 1, yeah, then it will work. And now I'll take here. This is just a way that I usually do it, and you can do it in many different ways. This blueprint here there are a few variations to it, but this is a great way to build power to get started. Now I'll take that one. No, see, I can't put it in when it's locked. So I have to middle mouse button to unlock it and then just click it. I don't want any of these. And this is, I'd recommend building like this. I've built in a lot of different ways and I really like this one. And let's get a few. And now these go in here, because that's going to be something I'm going to use a lot. Here. I can go into the second one. Yeah, see, they don't have any power. It's to be expected. And I love the fact that I can build from this distance. That wasn't used to the case. I used to be have to be much closer. So what I'm building here is basically, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest I can put in here. There we go. We now have power. And I'm going to leave more space because each water pump can feed 20 of these. That means 40. And I want to make room for it. Therefore, I just drag it down, which is actually quite handy. Now this coal will run for quite a while. And that gives us some power to get started on the next part, which next part being the science lab and some science. That's going to be the next thing. And in the meantime, we are just going to continue on this as we go along. And this one's out, to be expected. It didn't last very long. Now you can see I am actually somewhat okay about my my coal and copper. They are all just kind of making sense now. And the ratios are pretty good. Now we can start working towards the next thing. I have one of these, so let's build that next to our power. We're going to use this power line here. We're building a lot of things along along the lines of it. And maybe I should actually build a bit to the side. I'll just build it on top of it. Okay, so this one, since I only need these two right now, I'm gonna build them like this. Nope. Do I have room for one in between? No, I don't. It's Q on a ghost will pick up a real one if you have one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a couple of iron chests, because I think it's actually better to use iron chests. We're gonna need the copper for something else. That one. And we are now building. Let's go to our tech. This beautiful new tech overlay is it's absolutely fantastic. The first thing we want to do always is automation, because that gives us the machine and capability to automate things. So that's going to be the first thing we do. Now in here I have the option of queuing things up. So this is if you check the button at the start of the game with queuing up. So I'm going to queue up military, because you never know, and logistics and turrets. Those are the things that I feel I need first in any game. And then I can take my, here, I'll do control, right click to put half in, and control, left click to put all in. And that'll basically be the easiest way to split things in two. And yeah, I'll just build that here. And that gives us automation quite soon. In the meantime, we can do more runs here. See, I have plenty of coal because I did it this way. Now this is probably a good idea for me to get this one up. I'll just take all of it. They can now get a full stack each, because you never know. And while I don't have anything else crafting, it's always a good idea to build the furnaces, because you just need a lot of them. Again, pick up everything while we are going by. If one of them flickers empty, it doesn't matter. So at this point, I should be able to just make, I do hover over it with left control, held down. Yeah. And let's build some more inserters, because that's what we're gonna need a lot of as well. So for setting this up, and we are almost at this level, and let's see that one. So this is, now we start going into the parts that I always build like this. And of course, we need more assemblers. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe. And they're absolutely essential to put in here. I would think I like to switch to iron chest at this point. There. I'll have this one. I'll just put it everywhere, I guess. Put it down there, yeah? Take these out. They're going to be reserved for other things soon enough. And I'll take here, here. So this is something, once you build it a number of times, you feel very comfortable with it. But if you haven't, then I recommend building it something like this. Very simple to build. It will need, we're going to go get some more iron. Begs the question, does that run out? Nope. Does that run out? Nope. That's very soon. Okay, don't have any power. So what this needs is 2 iron and 1 copper. Because that's the ratio this takes. 2 iron, 1 copper. And once you do that, and of course if you put it in here, their speed 0.5, they take 5 seconds. So in 10 seconds they can make 1. Most of these researchers at this point, they take 15 seconds. So it's more than 1, but less than 2. You can probably make do with 1 if you want to. And our inventory, we are building stuff, so always build something here. That one is dead. Remove it. Now I can put enough into that one. That one's okay. That one's dead. That one's dead. It's a bit unfortunate that they go like that. And it's easier. Just put half stacks into each of them. And we go down to our coal, our copper here. This is now more important that they are filled up, so they get full stacks, because I'm gonna need a lot of it. And we're gonna build a lot of inserters while we're at it, because that's always the things. So what we want to do in this episode, we want to build some of the starter things that are always like really handy to get up and running. I will just show these. So one of the things that you want to build here, things, you get a few more here. You really want to get some belts early on, so automate the belts like this. This is just iron to iron in, and that will produce this one. Another thing, this is not built to ratio, but it's pretty simple to build as well in this way, in this case. Yeah. Okay, we got the logistics. It continues just with the next. This is the part where automation is already coming in. This one, we need to build some green circuits. And they require, as you can see here, 1.5 copper. So if we take half of that one, and all of that one, and one of this, then it'll be built at the right scale. I'm gonna build 2 more. How many do I have? I need 1 more. And a few more of these. So, and also a few more belt boxes. This one. Here and here. Wait for the box to come in there and there. This will be ammo, because that's important, and that gets the rest of this. And the last one I want to build up here is just for some gears. It's always nice to be able to have some gears being built, so when you run around building stuff, there we go. You can see we are now building quite a decent little base we have going on here. And that's practically, in my opinion, this is how I start the game. Now I have a lot of things automated already. That's out. Take that out. What about you? You're still going strong, so I'll take that one here. See, now everyone can be stacked up, and we just get more iron. This is where you will see your dot. Great. And build that here. They don't have a lot of materials in the early game, so just deal with that. There we go. All right, so you can see here they will run out pretty quickly, and then you have to balance where you want to put things in. But it gives us a tremendous capability to build a lot faster here. And all the science is automated. We now have the small things we need in order to withstand an attack. The first attack, we are getting some ammo here. We're getting military science. I'm going to get that one. I get a light armor, and even though the light armor is a bit of waste. And then we're going to make the last box here. This is what we call, or what I call, the box of shame. This is when I put pistols in. So if I die, I'll have a stock of how many pistols I have and other things that are totally useless to keep. Let's build the one radar somewhere in the middle of our base, so we get some outlook of what's going on. And that to me is a pretty good place to end the first episode. We've now built automation, we've got the science running, we got something that's very efficient way to start the game. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing and you want to see more of this, I would encourage you to subscribe if you feel this is valuable content. And I hope that you'll be checking back for next episode of this series. Thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you again. Bye.